Hi, you guys. Welcome back. My name is Carrie Penny. I am the Happy Crafty Homemaker, and welcome to Show and Tell number 287. We're getting so close to number 300. It's kind of freaking me out a little bit. So, I hope you guys have had a wonderful holiday season. We are finally now on the other side of New Year's. I am in the process of now cleaning my house so I can put it back together. Everything for Christmas came down. We had New Year's. I started taking things down. I still have my cards up. I do want to insert a picture here because so many of these beautiful cards are from you guys, and I want to take a second to thank you guys so much. But these keep making me very, very happy. So I'm leaving the cards up for now. But New Year's and Epiphany both have now happened. So everything is taken down except for the cards because, like I said, I might have to find a place up here to hang them. My little heart thing won't hold all of them, but I do enjoy looking at your cards. So anyway, everything's packed. Now we're in the I need to wet dust the whole house from top to bottom, get it good and scrubbed down, and then bring out all my normal decor and get all that reset up. So that'll take me another week or two. So that's where we are. I'm just in the process of trying to reclaim my home, get everything situated. Yesterday was Troy's first day back in the office, so I finally have my house in the house and schedule back to myself again. It's yay. I've also spent the last 2 days making doctor's appointments because it's time for. Well, I had one doctor retire on me, so I have to get set up with her replacement and getting everything moved around and making sure I've got dates lined up and I've got my hair appointment. I'm trying to adult efficiently, but it's stressing me out, man. I'm a millennial. I'm not supposed to be an adult. But yeah, no, it's been a lot of little things like that. Nothing horrible's happened, but it has been busy. It's been the holidays. We've had company. We've gone out to meet friends and family and everything. So it's been a joyful time, but it is a busy time. Uh, you guys will have seen, the finale for Project Christmas Blanket. We'll once again talk about that for a few minutes today, but all of the blankets got distributed. Everybody liked their blankets. I've had one of my daughter-in-laws text me a couple of times and be like, oh my God, the kids love them. We've been sleeping under them. Everybody's cuddly and warm. And then, of course, it was 80 degrees for Christmas when it was supposed to be 30. I actually had one of my daughter-in-laws was trying to find something to change into because it had gotten so hot. And at the end of the day, I told them they could start arriving after 3:30, and dinner was going to be at between 5 and 5:30. And it was still getting warmer the entire day. It didn't stop getting warmer until the sun went down, and not kind of started going down. It wasn't until the sun went down that it started cooling off a little bit, but it was 80 degrees in my backyard Christmas Day. And then we're back and forth between highs of 52 up to 72 for the next couple days again. I'm not sure what season it is anymore. It's my Poly Studio mug. I will leave their link down below, but custom made. The glaze on this is cotton candy, just in case you're wondering. But yeah, no, it's been something else here. It's just been something else, and we can't figure it out. And they're still saying this is going to be one of our coldest winters on record. I don't know how. I mean, I'm at the point I'm going to start going out and walking in the afternoons with capris and a t-shirt on, just to catch a little extra cardio. Yeah, that's where we are. Very confused. Very, very confused. It's a good thing. I have a t-shirt started to crochet because I can switch gears here and work on my Kisa tee instead of my multi-directional sweater. Because at this point, I'm never going to wear my brick sweater or that one Because every time I try to put on the brick sweater, it's a little too warm to wear my brick sweater. After all that work to finish it finally, I still can't wear it. Anyway, it is what it is. So we're going to have a huge photo dump for pet tax at the end of this. I recommend staying tuned because my cats are adorable. I said it. I stand by it. Get my hair tied up here. We may may have to go turn on the fan or something here in a minute too. But yeah, I have a bunch of stuff here. We have a bunch of stuff to talk about. So let's get on to the projects, the yarny stuff. Then you can have your pet tax and everybody will be in a better mood. We'll start off here with my WIPs. Alrighty then. So WIPs, lots of WIPs, huge stack of WIPs. Okay. If you watch Tuesday's video with the Yarnable and you come back on Saturday and watch my row 1, you will understand I have been working very hard at not over talking. I'm going to over talk here. I'm in a chatty mood and I know I'm going to over talk here. It's okay. You've been warned, but it's my channel and I can talk if I want to. I did a thing and I'm very pleased with what I did. So I was up here cleaning. I'm not sure when the video is going to come out. I don't know how I'm going to share it. I don't know if I'm going to do something like, if I make a visible dent here, we'll come back and talk. I don't know. But I came in here and I cleaned the yarn room. And in doing that, I came across some skeins of yarn. Same thing happened last year where I just set those aside to be socks last year. Well, this year I decided to do it a little bit different. I grabbed some of my little zipper project bags here. And these are socks for Troy. So this is Paint Box Sock in Summer Vacation, Knit Pick Stroll in Buddy. This is a Mary Maxim Simply Sock, Cascade, Heritage, and the solid for this one is a Premier Sock, Serenity Sock. And we'll talk about the cast on pair of socks here in just a second. And then for mine, we have a Universal Stanza, Knit Picks. It's the Stroll base. I don't have the card for it anymore. This is the yarn that made me mad a couple of years ago. It got tangled somehow and I'm still not sure what happened. This is a Knit Pick Stroll, but I've already cast on one of mine as well. So I'm going to keep these downstairs. What my goal is I'm going to cast on all of these. So that would be 3 for me, 3 for Troy, right? 1, 2, 3 for me. Yeah. And 3 for Troy. And I can just replace these as I go. So I have a cast on one pair for myself. That is currently my walking sock or car ride sock. I just finished casting these on for Troy. And this is another self-striping. I did take it, once I added in the main yarn, I did want to take it to see how long the stripes were going to be for these because I knew it was a self-striping yarn. I just didn't know how many stripes we were going to get. So it looks about 4-ish rows. These are 76 inches. I still think that feels a little bit big, but I do 74 for mine. So, I mean, that is kind of a little bit of a jump. So we'll see how he likes these. I'm going to do these in stockinette with a shadow wrap heel, and we'll do the leg in ribbing. So if all of that is fine, because he still says the other ones fit more perfectly than any other sock he's ever had. 76 just seems baggy to me, but that is an all rib sock. This one I'm going to do stockinette for the foot, ribbing for the cuff. Then the next one, if he still says this fits great, it's wonderful on his foot, we'll do 76 for the foot stockinette. We'll do a stockinette vanilla with, 25 to 30 stitches of ribbing at the top. But He likes his socks a little bit on the longer side. And we'll see how this works out. But I just, for some reason, that feels very loosey-goosey to me. So I will probably actually move to getting those done quicker, just so I can cast these on as well. Casting on kind of takes up like all my morning coffee one day and then like all of my evening knitting. So it's like one day to cast on heel or cast on toes for me. The pair I cast on for myself, I am calling my My Little Pony socks. So I did use, when I was reviewing the Simply Sock Yarn Company, I picked like the worst time to try to review them last year because normally they do sock yarns that they house dye for their subscription box. When I did it, we had a Mad Tosh, a Life in the Long Grass, and Townhouse, I think is the yarn. Beautiful, stunning yarns. Like, do not get me wrong. These were indulgent, beautiful yarns, FOs to come this year. But that's not normally what they do. Normally what they do is for your $100 for your subscription box, you get 3 skeins of yarn for 3 months. So 9 skeins total of their house dyed yarn. I intended to come back and re-review them, getting their normal subscription box. Life and Project Christmas Blanket kind of derailed that. Like, it started with Life and then Project Christmas Blanket. It became obvious I wasn't going to be able to do that. I could not continue making socks like I wanted to. So this is cast on with Stroll. This is the Simply Sock Yarn Company Splash Sock. And this has a color number, not a color name. Obviously, teal is my next color. And I think after teal, we go back to orange. So it looks like the repeat is 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 4, and then it starts with the pink. So I actually started at the end of a repeat row here, but it's the little sheepy marker guy here. He was from one of the months, 6 months that I got their subscription box. I don't know if it's one of the 3 that I unboxed with you or one of the 3 that just became obvious I wasn't going to be able to do it, but there we go. The Stroll colorway is Paisley Heather, and I chose that because it's kind of pinkish, kind of orangish, kind of purplish. The nature of the heathering, especially here, makes it look a little bit more orange hued because it's next to the orange color. But when it's next to the pink color, it starts to pull a little bit more pink. So it's kind of the perfect coordinate that does not match or isn't in the sock yarn itself. So that is one WIP. Next WIP are my buddy socks. So I have been working on what was supposed to be my Christmas socks. The last time you saw these, I was down here. So I have gotten a substantial amount done on these. I am now up to my ribbed cuff. So I have 2 rows of the ribbing done here. And then they'll be done. And then I really need to make sure 76 stitches is right so I can cast on twice. And then we can have matching Christmas socks this year. It is what it is. So my toe is in Knit Picks Stroll Scarlet. This is Knit Picks Felici in Buddy. The heel is Cascade Heritage. And then we're back to Buddy. And then the Stroll in Scarlet. Troy's heel toe cuff will all hopefully be in the green. I might have to cut, reattach, and do something different if it looks like that's going to be weird for his heel. Because I was able to use his yarn for my heel. I don't think he wants sparkly red yarn in his socks, even for Christmas. That might not be his jam. So hopefully next show and tell, those will be done. I mean, one good, car ride, running errands, and those should be complete. So next WIP is my pickle jar scarf. If you have not been around for a while, or if you're new to the channel, in 2021, I started this. So Aberdeen Wool Co. sells a bunch of their micro minis in a giant pickle jar. I think this is the cutest idea for how to acquaint somebody to your yarn brand. This is their Tangled Poets. This is their house dyed yarn. If you're Canadian, great for you. You are right there. They are a Canadian company. You get a pattern, the jar, the yarn, and in my case, I got a likey needle, but you get a needle. And they have their own pattern. Now, I did go a little off pattern for mine. And for what I'm doing is I am knitting 3 rows, changing color, 3 rows, going back, 3 rows. And just whenever I run out, I add in the new color, the new skein. So it ends up basically being like a magic knot ball. And one is ball A and one is ball B. And I'm alternating every 3 rows. I am helically knitting. So when I change color, when I change between A ball and B ball, I move 3 stitches over. So I am helically knitting it. So there's no jog or obvious start to finish of where the color changes. It just kind of seamlessly changes. And it created these blocks that blur into each other, but are distinct at the same time. So I'm really loving how this has worked out. I did have a bad ball, which is weird because I have no idea what happened to this one ball of yarn. And the last time y'all saw it, I'm pretty sure was when I was down here. This is where I've picked it up and worked on it for this year so far. But this is where it was the last time I shared it in a video. So I had done almost 2 inches. And then now I've done, almost 4 inches here. So I'm very happy with this. I love how this is turning out. I think what I'm going to do, I have a whole separate set. So you can also buy the pickle jar in a bag, basically. No extras, no pattern, no needles, no jar, no nothing. It's just a bag full of their micro minis. I want to make a matching hat to go with my scarf. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the scarf as far as I can take it, just because I want this to be as close as possible. I'm going to go ahead and cast on a hat. And whatever is left over in here, I am going to put into my scarf. I've got enough yarn here just from the pickle jar and how many stitches I cast on. I have enough to get like another 1.5 feet of the scarf. And then obviously if I block it, we're going to get, a ton more length out of this because it's very compressed right now. Partially because it's been balled up sitting in this basket for 4 years. But I need another 2 feet to be my height. Now I could end it, sew the ends together and just make it an infinity scarf as well. But I would like the opportunity to take it as long as possible. And then I can, artfully cinch in the ends here. Artfully cinch in the ends here. Bada bing, bada boom. My cats are making weird noises downstairs. Always makes me nervous when they do that. But anyway, that is my current Project UFO Year of the Mal Make Along UFO project that I am working on. I'm very excited to have this out because I'm so close to being done. I will have to make decisions, but we'll get there. All right. I want to switch out everything on my desk here so we can talk about some FOs. All right. So we have lots of things to talk about in the FO department here. Well, not a lot, but a lot's going to get talked about. Lots of words. Anyway, first thing, final blanket of project Christmas blanket. So this is corner to corner strips knit as scarves, basically. 6 rows of the black or gunmetal, 3 rows of the wine, knit up in scarves, then or crocheted corner to corner in scarves. Join as you go border, not continuous join as you go, just join as you go border. I'm having to brain, you guys. Adulting and braining all in one day. This is a lot. Then I did a final border around the blanket doing half double crochets, and then I used a new border stitch on this blanket, which I think may heavily replace my usage of the reverse single crochet. So I love the stability of the reverse single crochet, and it works in so many applications, but it's a very dense stitch. It has a lot of width. So you can get this like ruffling if you don't want to like block out your blanket. That can happen because it's so dense, it will stretch your project if your project's not already kind of loosey-goosey. This gives you kind of the same stability with a cute little eyelet detail that blends into the right project and is just clean. It's clean and simple. I love it. I will hopefully be able to get the tutorial for that out here in the next 2 weeks, but I do want to share this with you guys in a tutorial because I love this. I don't know what it's called. I found a picture of somebody describing this when I was looking up crochet borders. I forgot to tag the page. They didn't have a name for it. It was like a clip of a picture that had been taken from somebody else's blog from 9 million years ago. So I'm going to see if I can find somebody else talking about this stitch. If not, I don't know what to call it, but this is an existing stitch. I did not invent this stitch, but this stitch would be so super cute if you used it to border a baby blanket and then ran a piece of thin satin ribbon through the little eyelet detail because it would sit under that ridge that's created. And I know the picture here isn't great because the blanket was bordered in black. But just you wait. I love this. I am in love with this stitch. Anyway, that is my first FO. The yarn for that is Hirschner's worsted in wine, gunmetal, and black. I used a H crochet hook, which is a 4.5 millimeter. So love it. Kind of want to do this again. Somebody said it looked like pinstripe ties, and it does 100%. It is such an market looking version of this kind of a blanket. So kind of in love. Just all of the blankets really turned out much better than I expected in my head. Like, I don't know why I didn't expect them to turn out as well as they did, but they turned out much better in the finished project. If you haven't gone to look at the finale of Project Christmas Blanket and all the blankets together, I did share those, I think Christmas morning. Christmas night. But they turned out so nice all together. And as a collection, they turned out really good looking. So that is FO number 1. Numero dos. We'll stick with yarn. I finished my prairie shawl. So this is using Debbie Stoller, Stitch Nation by Debbie Stoller, collaboration with Red Heart Yarn, Alpaca Love. This is 80% wool, 20% alpaca. The balls are 3 ounces, 85 grams, 132 yards. I had 4 in the color peacock, which was the perfect amount to do the whole shawl in peacock. So I'd originally planned on doing the border. I have 3 balls of a eggplant aubergine color of this. I'd originally planned on doing the lace sawtooth border in that, but I had the perfect amount to just finish the shawl in peacock. So it's all in peacock. I love how this turned out. I still need to block it. It doesn't need imminent blocking. Like I can easily wear this as it is once I weave in the two ends. I did spit splice my yarn together. I felted the ends together, so I don't have any other ends, just my starting tail and my finishing tail. It took me a week of coffee crochet to do coffee knitting, to do the sawtooth border, because it's basically like doing 8 rows, going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. It was easy to memorize though. I want to come back to this. I kind of want to do another 2 fingering weight yarns held together project. And I was thinking this would be super cute if I did that and did like, say, start with, color AA here, then go AB here, BB here, BC here, CC here, and do, 5 or 6 colors. I think that would be super cute. So make it, a much larger shawl than this, but because it's such a basic pattern, I mean, the visual pattern is not going to take away from the yarn. And I have a number of yarns that this would be really cute doing. This would also make an adorable, by the way, just using fingering or DK weight to do a scarfette version of this. This would be super cute as well. So the last time you saw it, I was here, I believe. When I picked it back up after Christmas, I was here. So I think between filming, I had done 1.5 of these. I just finished off the last stockinette section and did the border. But that is now one project for Project UFO that is now done. Ready to wear. Like I said, I want to block it just because I think I can get a decent amount of width out of this, but it really doesn't need blocking. It lays really nicely on its own. But if I can get an extra inch or two, on the wingspan here, might give me a little bit more coverage for my huskiness. Because the tips come right at my hip flare. Like the worst color to try to pop that over, but I love this. I love this pattern. Definitely will be coming back to this. This is a free pattern from Premier Yarn. It was originally made for their rodeo yarn. So if you have some rodeo hanging out, I'm just saying. Highly recommend the pattern. Very well written. So much fun. Like so much fun. Up next, sticking with the Yarny FOs, we have week 1 of my Greenie Deck project. So if you were not here for my goals video, you would not know that you would probably know I got one of these if you stay for the show and tells, but I got one of these Granny square decks. And what I want to do is I want to do a couple of squares every single week going through the deck. That way at the end of the year, I'll have 1 or 2 blankets of just random grannies, and I'll try different things and do different things because I still have tons of scrap. Even when I finish my granny sweater using the whites and browns, I'm still going to have tons of scrap left over. So very excited. Anyway, week 1 was the multicolor basic. I won't flip this over because it's got the chart back here, but it's charted to change colors every single row. I did not prefer to do that. These are multicolored grannies though. I do keep a box of zip top bags for stuff like this. I am going to use these and I am going to mark them week 1 through 50 or whatever it ends up being. I will reuse these though. Don't worry. I love zip top bags and I love reusing them. I did have to buy a new box though, because I had the same box of zip top quart size bags up here between the craft areas and in the garage usage and stuff probably for like 6 years. So I had to buy a new box finally. Amazon had a really good deal though. So some of these you will actually recognize from Project Christmas Blanket. We have the solid granny here. We have the one I was just sharing, the C2C scarf, same blankets, different color path. This is just a gray with that wine. I'm not sure where this off-white came from, but then once again, it's that same. And then this was used for the quilt gan. So yeah, we've got 5 multicolored. Week 2 is solid grannies. I would have probably started my deck with solid grannies, then done the color changing, because starting off with having a whole bunch of ends to weave in, kind of pain in the butt. Just like I would have done that just a little bit differently, but not my thing. Oop. Doctor's office telling me things are ready for me. So anyway, week 1 is down. Very, very excited about that. I remembered to start it, which also excites me. Should not be as exciting as it is, but it is. It is what it is. When your brain does not work in linear fashion most days. It is what it is. So, we have a non-yarny FO. I finished my journal for 2026. This actually only took me like 6 hours this year. I don't know if it's just I've covered so many composition books at this point, or, just using a kit, but I've done kits before. I don't know. This, for some reason, I don't know. I knew what I wanted, and I didn't try to do more just for the sake of doing more. I do have a purple highlighter and a purple pen that I'm using, at least for the month of January. We'll talk about it. Front, I used 100% of my sticker sheet. There are a couple cardstock bits left over. When you open it up, covered inside. Landing page, I can add post-it notes and things like that to this area as needed. First up section is where I'm going to write my FOs, weight, yardage. We have flippy flappies for goals for 2026, as well as Project UFO. You can see where we have the prairie shawl there is highlighted as finished. Then you come over to this first little micro tab here, non-yarny FOs. Then my second proper section, I did go back to having tabs. I really missed having tabs in my last one. We have a pocket and a pocket. I inserted these two together. Printouts. I am so happy with how I did this. So first, I laid down the washi tape to join these together. Then I'm trying to figure out which direction I went. I went this way first and taped in the spine. So I have a full flippy here with like my finished items, projects that I want to make this year, supplies I'm trying to use up, donated items. We have another pocket. Then I added 3 flippy pages here. Those would be places, I can put like my low buy information, or, just little notes that I post it to myself all the time. Landing page for those. And then we start, the information about projects here. So my first cast on was the My Little Pony socks. And the next one is the Dusky Stripe socks, which are the ones for Troy. My final tab back here is pretty basic. No pockets or anything here. And then I have, 10, 12 sheets where I can write down notes. ideas for what I want to make in 2027, notes that I want to make about, potential for make along or things that I want to purchase or anything like that. And then we just wrap it up with a nice, pretty design on the back. So I'm very excited. This did get counted towards last year's finished objects because I did finish it right before the end of the year. So still couldn't quite make it to that 100 pounds of finished objects, even throwing in a final journal. But when I come in here to the FO section every month, I cut it off, add everything up. I highlight everything. This month I want to use purple for everything. So I am leaving these clipped to my journal. That also means I always have a pen with my journal. I keep having my pens walk off. It happens. It happens. It is what it is. So next, that's all my FOs. Next, we're going to do very, very quick acquisitions. And then we'll get to that pet tax I promised. All righty then. So first off, two of these are Christmas gifts I just want to talk about really, really quickly. One picture. This is my new table Troy bought me for my knitting machine. So I was trying to use my cutting table that I use for years filming. Once I started doing the standing videos instead of sitting in the floor, that was what I used as my camera stand. But I actually got this for cutting out pattern pieces, and it's meant to be wibbledy wobbledy and, up, down real fast. Not so good when you're trying to move that carriage back and forth. So this is a heavy duty, heavy table. I did go ahead and set up my ball winder and my Swift over here. I've been using those already this year. So lots of what I want to do on the knitting machine this year. We will really put this through its paces, but I did want to take a picture for you guys so you can see Christmas gift number one. I will have a link for this down in the Amazon listing. It has a plug and all that stuff. I didn't really care about that, but I did care about heavy and wasn't going to slide around. And even on the carpet, trying to move this across the room, it is so heavy. So if you're looking for a heavy table, might I recommend this one? I would actually trust. This is a solid piece of wood on the top, and it's not even pre-drilled holes when it comes in its flat pack. Like you have to actually drill into the wood. So I would put Troy's table saw, not table saw. He's got a miter square or miter box saw. I would put the miter saw on this. Miter saw, not miter box, miter saw. Worms. Roxanne. So, other Christmas gift I wanted to talk about real quick. I wanted both of these for different places in my life, but the Doodle Knit Directory and the Doodle Deck. I am really fond of these easy card things. I've had prayer shawls like this, granny square decks. I've had blanket decks, baby item decks. I love this format. Partially because these are great for people who, these are great for patterns where you have 1-2 row repeats once you set everything up. These are perfect for easy repeat things or things that are done in small sections. These are stranded knitting designs. So the leaf design is a design. The ice cream cones are a design. The little bat design is a design. The trees are a design. So you can take this deck. I haven't actually opened the box yet. You can take these cards with these designs and build your own stranded pattern. So scarves, yokes of sweaters, bags, whatever you want to do. So in designing, I think this would be very helpful. You can stack a couple together and see kind of how the spacing would work for a design and how you would use these. So these are 200 mix and match. They also have a whole bunch of other ones that are kind of like expansion packs for these. The book I wanted mostly because there are um, basic patterns that you can incorporate the designs into. So you do have some of the designs there, but you also have, kind of like laying out how to use the doodle deck for socks, or use the doodles for socks. There's an ear warmer, a scarf, a cowl. There was something else in here I thought I could also just be kind of going crazy too, because I've looked at so many different things this year and the end of last year for designing, trying to help me with designing things. Anyway, I thought this would give me kind of like a jumping point to kind of build my own designs off of a little bit more. So this is more of like sit down at the desk with paper and a notebook and thinking. This is more on the fly building, and gives me the ability to shuffle things around because I'm a very visual person. So anyway, I wanted both of those. I will leave Amazon links for these down below as well. The other thing I got is the Ultimate Sweater Book. Like I said, I really want to focus on garments this year. This has knitted in the round as well as knitted flat items, which means knitted flat if it's DK, a little bit finer than DK Sport, up to finer worsted. I can do this on the knitting machine if it's flat knit as well. There's also like 9 million ways you can figure it out, but I really like the designs here. The shapes all seem to have that, clean classics. There's also lots of hints and tips and tricks in here about, how to alter to get the proportions you're trying to get, the length you're trying to get. A lot of times I've talked about this before, in particularly in my upper measurements, I have a lot of trouble getting a good fit, especially with like store-bought things, because I am a standard XL. At my largest, I was a standard XL from here to here and here, but I was a plus size 1 to 2X from here to the bottom of my rib cage, and trying to get a good fit for this section and not have, like, especially if you're doing like short sleeves, if you lift your arm up and you can see somebody's entire bra down their sleeve, having a weird shape overall is very unfortunate. It's very difficult to find clothes, and it's even hard to make clothes to fit your dimensions. So even when I was super skinny, when I was a size 6, I was, like I would have to get an 8 to, fit my hips, but I would be like between a 4 and a 6 in the waist. I mean, even as soon as puberty hit me, puberty did me dirty. It did me great for certain things, but it did me dirty when it came to clothes. Or the fashion industry is doing me dirty. Just depends on how you want to look at it. But I want to better fit clothes to myself. I want to make more clothes for myself. I don't want to say I'm like buying into the slow fashion thing. I've always been more of a slow fashion person. Even my inexpensive clothes, like my Amazon Basics shirts, I don't recycle these items out of my wardrobe very often. They get damaged, and I do tend to be a little bit harder on certain clothing items, but sweaters in particular tend to be a little bit more delicate with. T-shirts, I do frequently, I won't think and put on an apron and go to cook bacon, and now I got grease stains that I can't get out. Some I can get out, sometimes I can get out, sometimes I can't. It is what it is. But even my more inexpensive clothing, I tend to wear for extended periods of time. I don't go through clothes very fast. I wear them till I wear them out. leggings, blue jeans, tennis shoes. I'm like that with everything, whether I pay a lot of money for them or not much money for them. What I do want in my wardrobe, though, are I want to start adding more pieces that fit me personally, fit the style I'm looking for, fit my body better. I want some more pieces that are unique, but maybe classic or twist on classics. I'm looking for quality and style for myself. So yes, I do want to move my wardrobe out of, fast fashion, but I don't have a problem. I don't change my wardrobe very much. I add a piece or two every year, replace items that I've worn out or damaged beyond being able to use. That's where my brain is thinking. That's where I'm going. And that's one of the reasons why I went ahead and got the knitting machine too, is I want to move my wardrobe into this curated collection of items that suit me, suit my personality, suit my style, suit my fit. I want me stuff. And the only way to get that's going to be to make it. Whether I make it or whether I take patterns to a seamstress and say, hey, I want this fitted to this, that's the only way I'm going to get that. So we can start this easy in the realm of things that I can make, and I'm going to get a lot of pleasure in making, which would be things like sweaters and scarves. And that also is part of what played into wanting like the doodle deck and stuff, because one of the things I would like to have is, some more whimsical pieces for things like scarves and things. Plus, I have the cutest 5-year-old to design for. And she's now finally at the age where I can make her scarves because she's old enough for me to make scarves. So just saying, I have some things I want to design this year. Like I said, I don't want to derail certain projects. We'll also talk about this in the row one unboxing on Saturday, but part of why I was thinking the row one for 1 year, we can kind of do this organic review. How am I feeling about it? I mean, we know how much it's going to cost. We know what we're going to get. We know what the value is before we ever buy it. But how do we use this? How do we think about this? That kind of thing. Part of the reason why I want to do that is part of what I want to do this year is working on expanding these goals of building my wardrobe and designing pieces for me and fit my needs. And like I said, that really cute little kid in Ohio that is finally old enough for certain items that are no longer danger hazards for her age. So I have talked to you guys for a stupid long time. There were tons of things. This is what happens when you have 3 weeks and I'm not just making blankets. But I knew I was going to talk a lot. It's been a long time. I had lots of things I wanted to say, and I had lots of things I wanted to say about the things I brought up here to talk about. So I need to get downstairs, get some editing done. Tonight, I'm filming this on Tuesday, is my class with Sherry. She is getting ready to start teaching us how to do a top-down raglan sweater on the knitting machine. So I will leave Sherry's YouTube channel tagged down below. Also, I will leave a link for the Facebook group if you're interested in flatbed knitting. This is a flatbed knitting machine group. She offers these free workshops. She is in Australia, so it's based on her time in Brisbane. But I have learned so much. I am going to sign up for the $13 a month or not, it's not $13 a month. I put it on screen last time. The paid for portion of these workshops, I am going to pay for that once I have everything with the house settled and I can actually spend time with the machine, because she's done 4 or 5 projects now where I kind of want her patterns, not just my notes about the patterns. Anyway, that's a whole nother thing. I don't want to go down that rabbit hole, but I have that class tonight. So I need to get some editing done, get dinner done and everything so I can over there. Plus, looking at this, the runtime of this right now, we're looking at a 15-minute video, and I'm really sorry about that. I love you guys. I hope you come back on Saturday to see the unboxing for this month's row 1 and talking about what we're going to be doing with that, because I'm very excited there. Hopefully we won't go another 3 weeks in between the show and tell videos, although next week I do know Thursday's video more than likely will be the mid-month check-in, so it still might be 2 weeks. I'm trying. I am trying. Please take care of yourselves, guys. I love you. I look forward to seeing you real soon. Bye, guys.